Oscar Guy here. Happy New Year. We are back with part 2 of my December 2023 predictions, even though it's January 2024. Sue me. I had holidays stuff to do, and we're about to cover the rest of the categories. I've already covered picture, I've covered director, and I've covered the 4 acting categories, and I've yet to cover the screenplay categories and all of the below the line technical categories. So that's what we're going to be doing now. Without further ado, let's just get in there and starting with adapted screenplay. Can you take a look at that top 5? Let me know what you let me know what you noticed. Let me know what you noticed. I'll give you some time. Oh, you noticed it? Oh, you noticed it? We got a new edition here. Barbie's here. Barbie's an adapted officially. It was just announced today, January 3rd. And just a couple hours ago, I found this out. But Barbie has moved to adapted screenplay by the Academy, despite Barbie's campaign, number 1, for original screenplay, and number 2, WGA classifying it as original. The Academy's like, nope, it's adapted. From what exactly? From Barbie, which is a toy, a brand. It's not adapted from a film or a piece of media, a play, a book. It's a toy. What is the logic here? I don't know what the Academy's logic is when it comes to the definition of an adaptation. It's very surface level, it seems, and it's kind of crazy. It's really kind of crazy. We are playing by the Academy's rules here. So Barbie's an adapted, then so be it. Adapted screenplay is now loaded. It's loaded. This top 5 is pretty solidified. As we are midway through the season, this is pretty much going to be the 5. I think maybe there'll be a shocker somewhere, but tell me where the shocker would be. The Zone of Interest, Color Purple. I don't think. All of Us Strangers. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. I don't see it. Even Spider-Verse. I mean, I don't see any deviations from this 5. Oppenheimer, Barbie, Poor Things, Killers, American Fiction. I think that's going to be it. I'll eat my words if I'm wrong, but I think that's going to be it. Oppenheimer is still at number 1 for me, even though Barbie, I do see a possibility of Barbie maybe pulling off a win here, especially since Oppy is destined to maybe take home a lot of Oscars, including director, maybe even picture, editing, cinematography, score. It's going to make a killing. Maybe the Academy will throw something else a bone here. Like Barbie. That's like number 1 in my mind. Maybe even Poor Things. Maybe Killers. And quite possibly American Fiction, because, the Academy likes to sometimes reward more comedic and lighthearted screenplays. Like, say, if Past Lives wins original screenplay, maybe they'll balance things out by giving adapted to American Fiction. Or if The Holdovers wins original, then they could give it to Oppenheimer or Barbie or Poor Things or something. But really, honestly, I can see any of these taking home the Oscar. They're all very solid. They all have a case to be made. They're all Best Picture nominees. It's going to be really tough. But for right now, since I have Oppie winning picture and director and some of these other awards, I'm going to have it be winning adapted screenplay as well. But it's essentially a tie between Oppie and Barbie, honestly. But for right now, I will just have Oppie at number 1. It was at number 1 before this news was dropped on my lap about an hour or 2 ago. So it is what it is, folks. And that's that. Below the line, we have Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. That was at number 5 for me. All of Us Strangers, Color Purple's Priscilla, Zone of Interest, Across the Spider-Verse, I don't think is going to happen, and then the Taste of Things I have down there. So that's adapted screenplay. Let's move on to what is now Original Screenplay. Hello, Original Screenplay. Hello, bye-bye, Barbie. Say bye, say bye. It's crossed off down there. Now it's between these guys. We got the holdovers, we got Past Lives, we got Anatomy. We have May December solidly in the top 5 now, and I have Maestro in for now. And then below the line we have Air, Rustin, and then beneath that are kind of just long shots like Saltburn and Asteroid City, Iron Claw. Not really seeing those being in any competition, really. So there's really like kind of a flimsy top 5 here. I could maybe see Air kind of sneaking in. If that gets into picture, maybe it could challenge the original screenplay category here. I don't have it in for picture for right now, but I don't know. We'll just see. We'll just have to see what the guilds do. Have to see what PGA and WGA does. Actually, we can't even use WGA because WGA is after the Oscars this year. So thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for that and for putting Barbie in adapted. Really appreciate it. Wrench after wrench thrown by the Academy. Come on, can't be doing this, bro. Can't be doing this. I got the holdovers winning for now. I think it's really between, I don't know. I could see a case for the top 4. I don't see Maestro winning. I could see a world where May December might pull off a surprise win, or Anatomy of a Fall, if that's going to be the true international pick. Past Lives, maybe it'll win here and have that women talking package like last year, winning screenplay and then getting nominated for picture. That could very well happen, but the holdovers is really making a killing with the screenplay awards and the critic circles. It's really between that and Anatomy of a Fall. So I don't know, but for right now, I think I will go with the holdovers. I know David Hemmingson has not won an Oscar before. I don't even know if he's been nominated before. So that has that going against him. But then there's Celine Song and Justine Triet and Sammy Birch. All of these people, I believe, are will be first-time nominees. And then below the line, it is what it is. Moving on from screenplay is animated feature. All right, so we got the top 2. We got Spider-Verse v. Boy and the Heron. I think it's going to be a battle between these two until the very end of the season. It's been pretty much, from what I understand, it's been pretty much neck and neck between those two films. Well, okay, so Spider-Verse is still on top. I would say Spider-Verse is still on top. It has, at the time of this recording, 18 critics wins, precursor wins for animated feature, and The Boy and the Heron has 9. Still a good number. It's, it's definitely not totally a landslide. Spider-Verse might have this in the bag. The one thing that is going against it, I think, is it's being a part 2 of 3. It does have that cliffhanger ending, so maybe the Academy will award this to The Boy and the Heron this year, and then maybe when Beyond the Spider-Verse comes out, maybe that's going to be even crazier and even more critically lauded. Maybe then they'll give it to Beyond the Spider-Verse. Maybe they'll award all 3, Into the Spider-Verse one. Maybe this will win, and maybe all 3 of them will win. Who knows? But I'm just going to throw that hypothetical out there. The Boy and the Heron is not, it's not impossible to see it win, to see this get pulled off. The only other anime film to ever win in this category was a Miyazaki film, Spirited Away. One of the first winners of this category. So maybe history can repeat. And this is Miyazaki's biggest movie, arguably since Spirited Away. So it's been making a killing at the box office. Critics love it. Audiences mostly love it. There's a case to be made for it. So it really is between those 2 films. For right now, I'm going to say Spider-Verse with an upset possibility with The Boy and the Heron. I have Elemental in. It's kind of... Elemental has had kind of a weird history this past year, with it coming out very quietly and getting kind of a lukewarm reception at first, but then becoming a global box office sleeper hit success. Critically, not super acclaimed, but most people like it. It I think it is the Disney pick for this year. I think Wish is, I want to say, almost, it's not doing great. I mean, I know that Golden Globe and Critics' Choice nominated it, but I don't know. I don't see the love for it. I think it's gonna miss, and I think Elemental is the Disney Pixar film that will get in here. Nimona, I've heard great things about. That's been getting some great nominations. I do have The Peasants in right now at number 5, but I've heard it's not really making any traction, so that might be dropping down in my next predictions. But that studio made, what did they make? It was nominated. Loving Vincent, yeah. There's the people that did Loving Vincent, and it was nominated at the 90th Academy Awards. And this movie looks pretty breathtaking, pretty beautiful, but it just hasn't. No one's really talking about it. Not a lot of people are seeing it, but we'll just have to see how these precursors play out. But I do have it at number 5 for right now. TMNT missed it missed Golden Globe, got into Critics' Choice, so that is a possibility that will get in. Wish, like I said, I don't know. We'll just have to see how that plays out with the Academy and with some of these precursors. Maybe the love for it will die down. I see that happening. I went to the mall during the holidays. I went to a store and there was a whole rack of Wish toys and Wish paraphernalia that was 30% off. Enough said. Chicken Run, I've heard, I hear it's fine. I know the Academy loves this studio. They'll nominate the studio for almost anything. Very outside shot. We'll have to see what some of these precursors do, but that is definitely down there. Super Mario Bros. Movie, same thing. I mean, it made a killing at the box office. It was a sensation. So yeah, Super Mario Bros. Movie got the Golden Globe nomination, missed Critics' Choice. So we'll see what the Annies do and some of these other precursors, but we shall see. Suzume, definitely an outside shot. It will be pretty based, but I'm gonna save that anime slot for The Boy and the Heron for right now. And then Robot Dreams. I'm gonna keep an eye on Robot Dreams, and I know it's at the bottom here, number 11, but I want to say that might be, we might be underestimating that one. Maybe it'll make a killing at BAFTA or maybe even the Annies. I've heard great things about Robot Dreams. That could be the surprise in this category. We'll just have to see. Maybe that could even take the place of The Peasants or maybe even Nimona. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one. That could go up a few pegs, my next prediction. So, but for right now, that's my top 5. That's my below the line picks. Let's move on to international feature. So there have been some shortlist cuts about dry grasses from Turkey and The Settlers from Chile. But we do have our top 5 here. We all know Anatomy of a Fall is in here. I don't have to go through that again. France didn't submit it. They submitted The Taste of Things, which is in the top 5 here. I've heard great things about it. It won Best Director at Cannes. It's in. Well, the Zone of Interest might be walking away with this, but we'll have to keep an eye on Society of the Snow, which I've heard great things about. It's possible it can get some tech nominations. It's coming out on Netflix this month. People are going to start to see it. Maybe it can pull off a All Quiet on the Western Front-esque resurgence late season. Who knows? But I am keeping a keen eye on the Society of the Snow, with Zone of Interest still number 1. Fallen Leaves has been doing great. It performed very well at Golden Globes, and it's performing well with critic circles as well. So that is definitely in the top 5. Il Capitano, I just have in just because it got a Globe nomination. Haven't heard a lot other than that, but I do have that in for now. Perfect Days just barely making the cut. That could very well happen. Cannes Best Actor winner for Koji Yakusho. I need to see it. I need to see all of these, honestly. So that's at number 6. Teacher's Lounge, I've heard great things about. Totem, could be this year's Quiet Girl surprise. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. 20 Days in Mariupol, the documentary from Ukraine, made the shortlist for international feature. So going to have to consider that as well. Four Daughters is officially in this category as well. Shortlisted in this category, I should say. The Monk and the Gun, which is from the same director as the other, what's it called? A Yak in the Classroom or something like that. Lunana, A Yak in the Classroom. That was the same director did The Monk and the Gun, and that got into this category a few years ago, I think 2019, as a complete surprise. So, and I've heard The Monk and the Gun is more critically lauded than even that film. So maybe that could be a surprise here. So got to have that for consideration for this category. Mother of All Lies from Morocco and Godland from Iceland. Don't know too much about, but I think those are in the Gold Derby top 15. So I think I'm gonna just throw those in there for now. But the Zone of Interest is probably gonna walk away with this one. One of the most critically acclaimed films of the year internationally. I still need to see it. Jonathan Glazer, please put your movie in more theaters. There's literally no theaters anywhere near me that is playing it. What's up? What up? What's up? And I'm probably going to be watching Society of the Snow pretty soon, since that's going to be on Netflix. And a lot of these other picks as well. So that's international feature. Let's move on. All right, now we're getting into the text here. Cinematography. Hoyt van Hoytema has been crushing the competition in cinematography. Absolutely crushing the competition. Let's pull up them precursor wins, baby.
Come on now, there's no need to get violent.
He's got 20 precursor wins so far. It's got 20 precursor wins so far, dude. He's got 20 awards so far. But you know what? It's probably not going to happen this year. But you know what happened last year? The cinematography frontrunner got snubbed. Remember that? Top Gun Maverick won 31 precursor awards, and it didn't get into the Oscars. What? You kidding? So anything could happen. Again, Oppenheimer is a sensation. So is Top Gun Maverick, but Oppy is going to get showered in nominations. Top Gun wasn't quite showered in nominations. Sure, it won a tech, won editing, I think, or sound. I think it won sound. So I don't see Oppy missing. I just don't see Oppy missing. I mean, can you compare it to Top Gun? I don't know. It's a different. It's different. I just gotta say it's different. I don't know. By the way, number 2 last year for precursor wins was Nope. Cinematography by Hoyt van Hoytema. And that got snubbed at the Oscars. So, makeup nomination, makeup win. Let's go. Let's go, Hoyt van Hoytema. So, he's number 1 for right now. I doubt it's going to get snubbed. Killers of the Flower Moon, Rodrigo Prieto. He's having quite a year with both Killers and Barbie. Maybe both of them could get in. I do have Barbie at number 6 for right now. But Prieto is here with Killers. Robbie Ryan is most deservedly in the top 5 as well with Poor Things. I do have Linus Sandgren in for Saltburn. I think he's overdue for a nomination. He did miss the cinematography nomination last year for Babylon. Why? So he's in. I have him in, and I have Maestro in. The DP there is Matthew Libatique. So that's my top 5. Maybe Prieto could get that second nom in place of maybe Saltburn, or in place of maybe Maestro, or maybe they'll nominate him for Barbie and then not nominate him for Killers. Shockingly, that would be insane. I don't really see that happening, but I'm just throwing all of the hypotheticals and scenarios out there. So that's what I have for my top 6 rather. Color Purple, I don't really see that happening. Zone of Interest is a possibility. Cinematography in that film looks immaculate, absolutely immaculate. The very still, very digital, clear, crystal clear, just aesthetic that film has seems like something that the Academy and the cinematography branch would go gaga for. So maybe that could be up a little bit. Maybe that could go up a peg or two for my next predictions. But for right now, it's at number 8 in the top 10. The Killer and Ferrari and Napoleon, they're long shots. As great as the cinematography in those films apparently are, I don't see them getting in. But I do have them in the short list here, if you will. So that's my picks for cinematography. Moving on. Next is costume design. Barbie might be walking away with this. Poor Things in a close second. Killers of the Flower Moon by Jacqueline West. That is definitely possible as well. Maestro, Mark Bridges. He's Academy royalty. He gets nominated all the time. I have him in. And Oppenheimer, because Oppenheimer. I think it's just going to get almost every tech nomination under the sun. I could probably see it miss, and maybe they'll give it to The Color Purple, or maybe even Napoleon or Priscilla. I think Barbie is going to walk away with this. We'll see what the Costume Guild does with their nominations and their picks. I think those nominations are coming out soon, maybe this week, maybe next week. I'll have to check my calendar, but for right now, I think Barbie is taking this one. Although the costume design in Poor Things is incredible. Them pulling off a surprise win in either this or maybe even production design, which we'll get to in a second, would be incredibly based. But again, for right now, I have Barbie at number 1. That's costume design. Moving on from there, let's get through it. Let's get through the shit, folks. Editing. Oppenheimer is at number 1. Jennifer Lame does great work. It's been winning a lot of precursors. Let's see how many precursors it's won. 10, baby. It's won 10 precursors so far. So that's really been making a killing with editing. Number 2 for precursor wins is Anatomy of a Fall, surprisingly, which I do have at number 7 here. That would be an amazing thing if that could pull off an editing nomination. Editing in that film is great, and it serves its purpose very, very well in regards to the pacing of that film. It is a courtroom drama, after all, a 2.5-hour courtroom drama. Making that as engaging as it is lies in the hands of its screenplay and its editing. So that will be a great nomination. So Oppenheimer, I have at number 1. At second, I have Thelma with Killers of the Flower Moon, the great Thelma Schoonmaker, who's done amazing editing work in all of Scorsese's films. The GOAT, as they say. I have her at number 2. Poor Things, Maestro, Barbie, all Best Picture nominees. I have Barbie in over The Holdovers. Some people say The Holdovers could pull off a nomination here. I do see that happening, possibly. That's why I have it at number 6. So that could be a possible upset. Not really an upset, but it's possible for that to get snuck in there. Past Lives, I have as a maybe. Air got that surprise, I think, Critics' Choice nomination for editing. So I had to add that to the list to make that, flesh it out just a little bit more. I doubt that'll happen, but we got to consider it at least a little bit here. Saltburn, Ferrari, The Killer. I hear The Killer's got some fantastic editing. And then Ferrari I have in here just because the Academy likes their vroom vroom movies. Don't think it's going to happen, but just got to throw it in there. So yeah, that's my top 5 there with my below the line picks as well. Oppy might have this. Killer's possible. Outside shots for the rest of the top 5 there, but I think Jennifer Lame might have this one in the bag. So that's what I got for editing for right now. Moving on from there is makeup and hairstyling. We got some shortlist cuts, y'all. Notably Barbie. Notably Barbie. I was kind of shocked when they cut this from the shortlist, but it kind of goes to show us that the Academy, their makeup branch, they tend to favor prosthetic work they tend to favor more makeup work over hairstyling work. Historically, that's something that I've kind of had to pick up on recently. That's why I was kind of shocked at Barbie's snub here, which is still a crazy snub. Don't get me wrong, but they love prosthetics. Maestro, prosthetics. Poor Things, prosthetics. Oppenheimer, not so much prosthetics, but aging makeup for sure. I mean, aging, like they go gaga for that. Golda, aging, prosthetics. Last Voyage of the Demeter, what is it? Prosthetics. Society of the Snow, I've heard, has great makeup, makeup work and maybe hairstyling work as well. A la All Quiet. All Quiet. Wonderful makeup work in that film. Maybe that's kind of like a similar situation there. So, Napoleon, Killers of the Flower Moon, kind of an outside shot, but I have to consider it just because it's Killers. Maybe it'll pull off some of these tech nominations. Beau's Afraid was shortlisted, which is a pretty based pick. I doubt that's going to get nominated, but we'll have to see. And then Ferrari is down at the bottom of the list there. A lot of aging makeup in that film as well. But I think Maestro's got this, man. I think Maestro. I mean, look at Lenny. It's pretty insane what they did. And with, I've said this before, Bradley Cooper's Best Actor nomination and possible win goes hand in hand with this makeup category. I can't really ignore it. It's number one for right now. Although Poor Things is kind of a contender, you know. I would say it's like an 80-20 or 20-80 possibility to maybe pull off a crazy upset. But and if that happens, then Cooper, you better watch out for Killian or Giamatti or somebody else who might pick up that Best Actor trophy. Let's just move it along, keep it going, keep the train a going. Production design. I think this is I don't think this is going to be a Barbie sweep. It could be a Barbie sweep. I don't know. I don't know where Barbie stands and how confident it is in this category, and I think it's pretty confident. Production design, okay, it's pretty confident. It's got 10 precursor wins. Okay, maybe it is confident. I digress, everybody. Barbie might have this one, but have you seen Poor Things? Have you seen Poor Things? Have you seen the production design in Poor Things? They made like whole like cities, almost like whole like sections of towns and cities, like these like weird, fantastical, futuristic, but also kind of warped versions of where'd they go? Madrid, Paris. Where'd they go? I know they went to Paris, and they went to Italy somewhere, and then the ship, with the backdrop and everything, like it's crazy. Like the production design is pretty intense. So I want to say that might be an upset there. Maybe I could see that maybe getting the upper hand in the late season. Look what happened last year with Babylon. Don't remind me, I'm reminding myself. What am I doing? It basically swept the production design awards all year last year. And then when it came to the Oscars, they just gave it to All Quiet. I mean, it's fine. Whatever. It's fine. Babylon Hive's still strong, y'all. Come on. Maybe they could give it to Poor Things as a surprise. If Barbie sweeps every production design category, at least at the major precursors, maybe Poor Things could pull off a crazy win or something like that. Again, we'll have to see what the Production Design Guild does as far as their nominations, as far as what they pick. But sure, Barbie's at number one for right now. Poor Things in second, solidly. Oppenheimer, Killers, solid production design and set decoration there as well. And I have Asteroid City in for right now. I know that the Academy doesn't typically like to single nominate films in production design. That never really happens. But I'm pulling for it for right now. Maybe I'm just coping because this is the only category I have Asteroid nominated in. So maybe it could be this. Maybe it could be Saltburn, surprise, surprise. Maybe something else like The Zone of Interest could sneak in. The production design in that film is very immaculate when it comes to the house outside of the of the camp and the garden and everything like that. I haven't seen the film, but from what people say, it's like masterful how it's set up and how it's crafted and kind of portrayed in the film. So maybe that could be a surprise. Maybe that should be bumped up just a little bit, but we're just going to have to see how well Zone performs in the late season. So it's at number 11 for right now. But again, Barbie, Poor Things, top 2. The rest you see there. That's production design. Let's move on. Score. I'm rooting for you, Ludwig. He's been... Look, let's see how many precursors this bozo got, man. Come on.
Come on now. There's no need to get violent.
He's got about 12 precursor wins so far with the critic circles. Killers of the Flower Moon, Robbie Robertson is not too far behind with 5. Maybe he could pull off a crazy posthumous win, but the quality of Oppenheimer's score is just so hard to compete with. I mean, it's just incredible what he did with that score. Amazing work. If they do Oppy dirty this year like they did Babylon, God, bring up Babylon trauma. I will be a sad boy. So I don't know. I have him at number 1 still. I mean, it's an obvious winner. He's won before for Black Panther. He's number 1, but I'll give Robbie Robertson the benefit I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Have him at number 2 for now. It's been making a very strong presence this award season. He's never been nominated. It'll be his first nomination after he's passed, which is, I don't know, how often has that happened? He's definitely going to get in. I think he should. So he's at number 2. I have Poor Things at number 3. Have you seen Poor Things? Dude, the score in Poor Things, I mean, I love the score to Oppenheimer. Like I said, it's masterful. Poor Things score, masterful also. I mean, after I saw Poor Things, I said to myself, is that score tied with Oppenheimer for me? Personally, it's like almost tied. It's like neck and neck. It's like Oppenheimer still won, but like that, I mean, Jerskin Fendrix, where did this guy come from? And that's just not bias why it's here. I mean, it's been getting into precursors and things like that. Not been getting a lot of love for the critic circles rather. Maybe that's bound to change. Maybe, we'll see. I hope it gets in. So I have it at number 3 in the top 5 here. Daniel Pemberton has been doing very well with score prospects here. So it did get, I think, a Critics' Choice nominee. I think it got Globe and Critics' Choice, did it not? Yeah, Pemberton got into both Critics' Choice and Golden Globe for score. So yeah, that's going to be in the top 5. Duh. So yeah, there he is. And I did rewatch Spider-Verse the other night. Great music. Great score in that film. So good job, Daniel Pemberton. I hope you get in here. And I also have Thomas Newman in. He hasn't been really showing up with the precursors, man. But have you seen his... I mean, look, I think a while back on one of my other prediction videos, I was kind of looking into Thomas Newman's history with the Academy. He's been nominated over a dozen times. He's never won, but maybe he could pull off a surprise here, and he could get in. So I still have him at number 5. I have him at number 5. It's very flimsy, that number 5 spot, but I have him in for now. Watch out for Society of the Snow, Michael Giacchino's score, a former Oscar winner for score. He won for Up, I believe, and he's been nominated a few other times, I think. That did get a Critics' Choice nomination, so again, we'll just have to see what maybe BAFTA does. Maybe BAFTA will go gaga over... Why have I been using that phrase so much? Maybe BAFTA will be the ones that will go crazy for Society of the Snow, and that maybe that will fortify Society of the Snow's score chances, and maybe that could sneak in here. So that's why I have it at number 6. Also, watch out for Indiana Jones, guys. I mean, Williams just announced that he rescinded his retirement at 91 years old. Let's go, dude. This was going to be his last score. So maybe the Academy will just be like, here you go. We nominated you for all the 3 of the Star Wars sequels. We nominated you for the Fablemans last year. We'll nominate you for Indiana Jones. Sure, why not, for some reason? So, I don't know. He's still in the conversation, folks. He's still in the conversation. The Academy could very well do it. He's number 7. Hisaishi has been getting a lot of buzz for his score for The Boy and the Heron. It got that wonderful Globe nomination. So that is definitely in talks for a possible surprise in this category. Barbie, I don't know if that could happen. It did get into Critics' Choice, but maybe that'll be a one-off there. The Zone of Interest is a new addition. I think I might have to bump that one up a little bit. That's been getting some Critics' Circles wins for score. It did get that Golden Globe nomination. There's very little music in the film, and it's very strange music from what I hear. Michael Levi did get nominated for Jackie, so they have that going against them, or going for them, rather. So, I don't know. Definitely in the top 10. At least Zone is in the top 10. Maybe it should be higher, but I don't know. We'll see. American Symphony, John Batiste. They do love John Batiste. Saltburn. Yeah, Saltburn did get shortlisted. And that's why it's here. So I have that at the bottom right there. So, I don't know. Past Lives didn't make the shortlist cut, unfortunately. That breaks my heart. Love the music in that film. And then Reznor Ross didn't quite make it for The Killer. There's a lot of The Smiths in The Killer, apparently. So maybe the ratio between the Smiths and the actual score was too great. So maybe that's why they didn't get the shortlist. They didn't get in the shortlist. So, but anyway, Ludwig. I think you might got this in the bag, buddy. Robbie Robertson, watch out. Jerskin Fredericks. I'm quietly rooting for you, buddy. But anyway, that is original score. Let us move on to song. Original song. So we got 3 Barbie songs that have made the short list. We have What Was I Made For, which I think is going to win. With I'm Just Ken and a close second. Maybe that could pull off a win, but the reasons I have What Was I Made For in number 1 is because, look, Billie Eilish won an Oscar. That song is a huge smash. It's been nominated for a bunch of Grammys, I think. It's everywhere you go. It holds the main message of the film. And the film that we're talking about is the biggest box office cinematic sensation of the year that, not single-handedly, but second-handedly, along with Oppenheimer, saved cinema and saved movie theaters for the most part. So do I say more? I mean, look, I'm Just Ken. It's a great song. It's a banger. People love it. There's multiple versions of it. Sure. If you think that it's going to win, sure. Go right ahead. But my heart is on What Was I Made For. Just for right now. We'll see how this category plays out with the precursors, but I got those 2 at the top 2 slots. Keep Me Moving from Color Purple I do have in. The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot. In my shortlist reactions video, I did say that this was by somebody else. Like, let me see. I thought it was from Becky G. Becky G performed the song. Diane Warren wrote the song. And let me tell y'all guys about Diane Warren. Diane Warren will write a song for any movie. Doesn't matter if 2 people saw it, 50 people saw it, 1 million people saw it. If she writes a song, she gets nominated. That's just how it works. I've picked up on this in the past couple of years. Now that we know that there's a Diane Warren song in the category, I have it in our 5. I have it in my 5 right now. So that's at number 4. Road to Freedom from Rustin has been performing fairly well as of late, and that's from Lenny Kravitz. So maybe that could pull off a nomination here. So I have that at number 5. Dance the Night from Barbie is at number 6, just below the line. We can only have 2 songs from one movie at once. So What Was I Made For and Ken are definitely the top 2 Barbie songs. So I don't think Dance the Night is going to make the cut. John Batista's here with It Never Went Away from American Symphony. That did make the short list. Superpower from Color Purple. Sure, Quiet Eyes made the short list, which I love. At least that made it in and not score. So I do have that in the top 10. Maybe that could happen. I would love to see it. Let's see. Am I Dreaming from Spider-Man? Academy typically doesn't go for hip-hop songs, but I do have that in just because it made the short list. Same thing with the Song for My People song from Killers, as well as Meet in the Middle from Floor in the Sun. And what I don't have in here is Dear Alien from Asteroid City. I really doubt it's going to get nominated, but I love that song so much. I'm glad it made the short list, but I do not have it listed here because I don't see it happening. Peaches, Rip Jack Black. I'm a stan for that song. I'm sorry. Maybe it's just because I'm a gamer and I did kind of enjoy the Super Mario Brothers movie and I love Jack Black, so I was kind of rooting for that song. Sure, it's a joke song. Who cares? It's fun. It's a fun song. I'm sorry. It got nominated at Globe and it got nominated at Critics' Choice, but it didn't make the shortlist here, unfortunately. Fortunately for most people, but whatever. I digress. Steal a Show from Elemental, gone. Little Mermaid songs, gone. Wish, bye. Bye, Wish. See you later. Anyway, that is original song. Barbie, congratulations on your Oscar. Moving on. Sound, here we go. Oppenheimer has been making a killing with sound. Maestro, I got in. Killers, I got in. The Killer, I hear, has great sound work. And, of course, I have the Zone of Interest in at number 5. Maybe that's even a little bit low. If Zone is going to be the Academy or award season player that it might be, despite our initial thoughts on its possible performance this year, maybe it's got this one in the bag. Maybe it could even... Look, man, like I said in my last video, with Oppy in contention to win all of these Oscars, maybe there's one category where there will be an upset. Director, very outside shot for that. Very outside shot for that. But screenplay, I see, maybe going somewhere else. Score, probably not, but it's not 100%. Sound, I could maybe see it going to maybe the Zone of Interest. If there's going to be any other film in this category that could pull off a surprise win, maybe it's Zone of Interest, so maybe I should have that at number 2 and not 5. I don't see Maestro winning. I don't see Killers winning, or even The Killer. Maybe that could be a crazy shock. But, again, Oppenheimer, the sound work in that film, I mean, Oppenheimer on a technical level is just an amazing movie, but from the sound perspective, I mean, if you've seen Oppenheimer, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, there are some scenes in that film that are masterful, and it's mostly due to the sound work. So I think Oppenheimer deserves this award, absolutely. I have not seen Zone of Interest. If I have seen it, from people who have seen it, they will say that it equally deserves a sound win, at least a nomination. So, but that's my 5 for right now. I have Ferrari at number 6 just because Academies like Vroom Vroom car movies. Sure, I don't know. Ferrari is not performing very well, if I'm going to be frank. But anyway, I have Barbie, I have Napoleon, Mission Impossible, Creator, all outside shots. Shortlist cuts, Spider-Man unfortunately didn't make it. The Color Purple didn't make it. And RIP, John Wick Chapter 4. Wonderful sound work in that film. And that film is a technical marvel. It should get Oscar nominations, but it's not going to happen. RIP. Moving on from sound is visual effects. So Oppenheimer, say bye. Say bye to Oppenheimer. It was deemed ineligible by the Academy. The Academy is just gung-ho for CGI. Oppenheimer is all practical. It didn't even make the visual effects shortlist, and I hate it. It's been nominated elsewhere. It was nominated at Critics' Choice. It deserves to get nominated, but it is what it is. We're playing by the Academy's rules. Moving on. The Creator is at number 1 for now. Great CGI work in that film. So I have that still at number 1. Poor Things there's a lot of practical work in that film as well, but that did make the shortlist. So if that's going to be a main player, for Best Picture, and it's going to make a presence at the Academy Awards, sure, that could maybe get into visual effects. So I do have that in. I do have Guardians in, Mission Impossible, and Spider-Man in as well. A new addition to the list that I might have in my top 5 after some of these visual effects guilds and precursors kind of announce their nominations is maybe Godzilla -1, which I've heard has fantastic visual effects for a film with a lower budget. So that is right on the cusp at number 6. Indiana Jones is very possible. Society of the Snow, I've heard has great visual effects as well. Maybe that could pull off an All Quiet thing, like I've said previously in this video. Sound like a broken record, sorry. That's in the top 10, as well as Rebel Moon and Napoleon Outside Shots. D&D and Little Mermaid also did not make the shortlist, so those were cuts from my list. But for right now, we have The Creator at number 1. So we'll see. So for documentary, this is my first time predicting documentary feature, this category. So these are all new additions. I kind of just wanted to see what some of these documentary precursors do first, because there's quite a few. There's Critics' Choice Documentary Awards, there's CEH, there's IDA, and then there's E&D Spirit. And those are all the nominations that have been announced thus far. And then also we have DGA, and we have PGA, and then we have the BAFTAs. And those nominations have not been announced yet, of course. So just some of the mid-season precursors have been announced. But out of all of those, we have American Symphony, which has been performing very well. That got the Critics' Choice documentary nomination. It didn't quite win, but it's been pulling off some critics circles wins as well. We got 20 Days of Mariupol, which has been making a killing at some of these early precursors, as well as Beyond Utopia, Four Daughters, with the CEH and Indie Spirit nominations, and going to Mars, which actually has the most precursor nominations, main precursor nominations thus far. So I do have that in at number 5. But for right now, I'm going to say American Symphony, just because, that is based on John Batiste, and it's been shortlisted for other awards as well. But I will say that I do see 20 Days in Mariupol or Beyond Utopia possibly taking that number 1 spot. We'll see how everything plays out. But that's my top 5. Still a Michael J. Fox story. The reason I have that at number 6 is because the Academy typically doesn't go for biographical, retrospective celebrity documentaries in this category, historically. So it did win the Critics' Choice Documentary Award, but the correlation between that award and the documentary branch at the Academy Awards, they almost never match up. I mean, this category is just like, it's one of the most unpredictable and tough to predict categories. This is very loose. I mean, I don't typically go out of my way to watch a lot of these documentary features. I would love to, but I mean, they're not always available. I don't really get screeners yet, so I'm doing what I can, y'all. So for right now, I got American Symphony at the top with 20 Days in Mariupol, Beyond Utopia, Four Daughters, Going to Mars at the top 5. So, and then everything else you can see there. We're just gonna have to see. Moving on from there. And finally, we have the shorts categories. I really don't know what to say about the shorts categories. I don't really follow the races on the shorts categories very closely, so and they just announced the short lists for them, and 99% of them I haven't even heard of, so what I'm doing for right now until we have some stars aligning with BAFTA and some early precursors, if any. I'm just going to list the Gold Derby top 15 for right now. Is that okay? All right. Sue me if not, but whatever. We got documentary short there. We have live action short there. The Wes Anderson film is at number 1 right now. And then we got animated short. Once Upon a Studio at the top. Why not? And then Yoko. John and Yoko, number 3. But that's all we got right now. Oh, so that's it, guys. Oh man, I went through a lot. I'm sorry. I'm out of it. My voice is tired. It's been a long week with a lot of new developments after the new year, after the holidays. I'm still kind of recharging, but those are my predictions for right now. Been meaning to make this video for a long time, so thank you guys for sticking around and tuning in and checking me out. We got a lot going on this month. Really starting tomorrow. I mean, January 3rd, today is January 3rd, and January 4th is really when things start kicking off. CDG nominations are coming out tomorrow, and that is the Costume Design Guild. And then Friday we have the BAFTA long lists. And then, of course, Sunday are the Golden Globes, the Golden Globe Awards. Let's go. I will be probably making a BAFTA long lists reaction video. I'm planning on that. So in the coming week, I'll probably be having that up. But I do want to say and announce that I will be watching the Golden Globes on Sunday live. I will be live streaming. I am at least planning to live stream my reactions to the ceremony. Ceremony is going to, go on for a bit, and there's going to be a lot of television categories that I won't really be covering, but I'm going to be hanging out, watching the ceremony, and reacting to some of the winners. And I'm mostly just going to be hanging out on stream, so I can, talk to you guys and answer questions, and you guys can just come say hi and hang out or whatever. So that's going to be on Sunday, January 7th. The ceremony is at 8, I want to say, 8 p.m., but I'll probably start streaming around 7:30, 7:45, somewhere around there. So Eastern time, by the way. So look forward to that. That's pretty much next on my horizon, BAFTA long list and Golden Globe Awards. And then after that, it's off to the races with some of these guild nominations, and then Oscar nominations are coming out in about 2.5, 3 weeks. It's hard to believe. It's pretty insane. So that's going to be it for me, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to grab some tea or something because my voice is died. But until next time, folks, thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Oscar Guy is...